Hello everyone, welcome back to this channel. After Starship's first launch, SpaceX was left with a bit more damage than they had hoped for and expected to stage 0. Despite this, Elon was confident that in only a few months' time the pad would not only be fixed but improved and ready for the next flight, with it now being 1 month. Today we're diving into the aftermath of Starship Super Heavy's first launch and how SpaceX is upgrading its launch pad for future missions, so buckle up and let's blast off into the world of rockets and innovation now. As you may recall, the first launch of the Starship Super Heavy was a mixed bag on one hand. Since the launch, the progress at this site has been quite staggering. Teams at SpaceX have been working constantly and the ambitious timeline from Musk is becoming more realistic. This being said, there's still a lot of work and especially testing remaining to make sure what happened on the first launch doesn't happen again. Elon Musk's ambitious rocket exceeded expectations by soaring into the sky without turning into a fireball. On the other hand, the launch caused significant damage to the launch pad, an issue that Musk was apprehensive about, as the saying goes. The company had been conducting for months now related to Stage 0. This included footage of a Raptor engine firing onto a water-cooled steel plate based on the construction, and what SpaceX has said, the steel structure will be the main. What goes up must come down, and in this case it meant a colossal mess to clean up and repair. Many have argued that the destruction caused by the inaugural launch was inconsequential, since it was merely a trial to validate the rocket's liftoff capabilities. The company knew that a long-term solution was necessary to handle the exhaust of 33 Raptor engines. Focusing more on the test footage itself, it highlights the immense power of the Raptor engine and gives an idea of what the company is up against. There's no point of a water-cooled steel plate if after one launch SpaceX needs a few weeks to repair and fix it. Right now, in the early stages of Starship integrated test flights, we might see this. But in the future they need an extremely capable and reliable system. In the coming weeks we can expect more testing like this from the company, and eventually a full 33-inch in static fire above the steel plates. They will likely start with partial thrust and move up to a full static fire if it holds up as intended. Then the next Starship launch should shoot nothing. However, for space to achieve their ultimate goals, it's crucial to establish a robust launch pad that can support the equivalent of 2 Saturn V rockets operating frequently, perhaps with intervals of days or less, without sustaining significant damage. As a result, SpaceX is upgrading everything on the Starbase launch pad for future missions. But SpaceX's case at Stage 0 that after a few launches work will need to be done to either fix or replace steel plates. The system could be designed in a way that supports this process and makes it very quick. Focusing, Elon Musk recently gave us the lowdown on the new and improved design, and it's pretty ingenious. The plan is to install a water-cooled steel plate beneath the orbital launch mount, creating what Musk refers to as a massive super strong steel shower head pointing up. Sounds like a sci-fi movie prop, doesn't it? Thanks to some stellar renders by Ryan Hansen. In addition, after SpaceX and Elon began mentioning the use of steel plates for Starship's pad, Dr. Phil Metzger gave some valuable insight. He worked on different Morpheus launch locations and used steel plates at certain times, so they weren't tied down to places with concrete. In a quote, he said, so compared to Elon's tweet about Starship, they plan to make their giant steel plate water-cooled. That way it doesn't have to be large enough to take all the heat of the plume without melting. The way we designed the Morpheus steel plates for such a large rocket, that much steel would be excessive and ablative would not be enough to solve this either. Would the ablative need to be 3 feet thick? But he said it will be water-cooled, which is an awesome idea. The water will be taking heat out of the steel in real time, so it won't melt. Simple, and it should be effective, he said. When it comes to adequately dispersing the exhaust of the most powerful rocket in the world, there are a few reasons why. We have a glimpse of what the steel plate with the shower head design might look like when it's finished. The water layer will absorb the energy generated by the 33 Raptor engines, ensuring that the launch pad can be reused quickly. Precision is key, so shout out to Ryan Hansen for these awesome visualizations. But the upgrades don't stop there. The orbital launch mount dome is also undergoing intense maintenance. We've seen new doorways being cut out, new stairs, scaffolding, and even foundation work. According to SpaceX, the dome will only be repaired, not replaced. However, they will replace damaged tank farm tanks at the pad with vacuum-jacketed versions, also known as giant hot dog tanks. Who knew rockets and hot dogs had so much in common? As for the 500-foot tall launch tower, it luckily escaped SpaceX is going down the steel plate path. To start off, it would be hard for SpaceX to build a large trench due to the high water table in Boca Chica. The water table is an underground boundary between the soil surface and the area where groundwater saturates spaces between sediments and cracks in the rock. As a solution to this, you can build up the ground level quite a bit and make a trench with the extra room. In SpaceX's case, they already have set up all the Stage 0 infrastructure, so we can expect everything to stay at the level it's at currently. While possible, SpaceX is confident that they can add the system within a few months' time and be ready rather than a massive construction project. This is why the use of large steel plates is the current plan. The plates are designed to sit directly on top of the water pipes, which are over 6 feet wide. Those pipes need to be buried underground for the plates to be at ground level. Looking at more tests and info related to steel plates, the launch with minimal damage even though it was pelted with sizable chunks of concrete. Talk about dodging a bullet. Musk expects SpaceX to spend about $2 billion on its Starship rocket development this year, with the total cost estimated to be between $5 and $10 billion. Despite the fiery ending of the test flight, SpaceX's development strategy is all about building and testing actual hardware, which leads to more dramatic failures but faster progress towards a working vehicle. And let's be honest, who doesn't love a good rocket launch with a side of suspense? However, building a new rocket, especially one as complex and powerful as Starship, is never a linear process. Delays can be costly, and concerns about the environmental impact of launches from SpaceX's facility near Boca Chica, Texas, have led to a lawsuit against the FAA for approving the launch. While SpaceX might face a challenging fundraising environment, their dominant position in the space sector and near monopoly on U.S. human spaceflight make it difficult to bet against Musk pulling in the necessary capital. As Chris Quilty, a space market analyst, points out, if money managers believe it would be worth $1 trillion, then $137 billion makes sense. Now, there may be some misconceptions floating around about the necessity of these upgrades, especially given that SpaceX has been known for its rapid development and testing cycles. However, it's important to remember that as rockets become more powerful and ambitious, the infrastructure supporting them must also evolve. In this case, the water-cooled steel plate and other upgrades are necessary steps to ensure the Starship's long-term success and viability. What are your thoughts on the upgrades to the Starship launch? Despite the immense amount of heat and force, SpaceX has been testing steel plates for likely months now in preparation for the installation of a massive system under the Ohm. Once installed, we can expect a few tests to be completed before the second integrated test flight of Starship. We will have to wait and see how it progresses and the impact. And that's today's video. Don't hesitate to give your opinion in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more space and technology goodness. Thank you so much for watching. By the way, are you familiar TalkTalk Philippines app? TalkTalk is a delivery service app designed to connect more people by delivering items door to door. For more information, download the TalkTalk app, here down below.